Hi, I'm Jason Miner, and this is what you need to know about agriculture. Agriculture has a very broad reach on financial markets. There's $1.2, $1.3 trillion of stocks and bonds globally, and a much bigger area of investment privately that goes into the whole chain from seeds and fertilizers all the way down to the grocery store or biofuels production. So you see a lot of opportunities to invest in those. You see a dynamic between the upstream and the downstream where crop prices can move profits from the field down to the biofuels production area. And so there's an investment case to be made as we go through these cycles, and we're currently in a down cycle. But ultimately, when you move beyond this year, there's a lot of opportunity to invest in some of the technologies we hear about everywhere, like AI, which is driving much more intelligent practices, better efficiency. The machinery companies have really had a tough time over the past year or two. And so our clients are talking about the bottom to a cycle and what's been a really tough time for the big tractor makers and that sort of thing. But it will ultimately come down to whether consumers can revive and some of the downstream demand can pick up, and also some of the policy factors that are just huge unknowns facing the entire agriculture chain right now. At the start of 2025, the parts of the agriculture chain, which is a very long chain, that are really most talked about, I would say, really just up in the field in the farm regions, we're facing what could be a difficult trade war. And we've been through this before. It happened in 2018. But so certainly people are trying to handicap what could happen to demand for our crops. That's the upstream side, which is really farming. The other hot topic is biofuels and downstream, because there's a lot of policy that was in the middle of being changed and left unfinished, really, in the last administration. And we just don't know what the next administration will do, but that could trade off. The role of sustainability in agriculture, which if we step back, if you take an individual grower or farmer, the goal is always to do more with less. And of course, remember, they tend to hand land down through the families. So farmers would argue that they've always been focused on sustainability, but it means something else today, right? So we're now putting policies in place that will steer farmers towards specific behaviors. And it's incredibly complex. Sustainability is sparking a lot of opportunities for innovation, a lot of investment, a lot of collaboration, because these parts of the chain used to regard each other as just buying a commodity and selling a commodity, and now they really have to keep track of each other. It's almost hard to overstate the effects of sustainability on the entire agriculture chain right now. The big question right now is, what effect will this new Trump administration really have on agriculture markets? The first and most indirect, perhaps, effect is we're already starting to see a bunch of tariff threats. But then we know from what happened in 2018, the next thing that happens is retaliation. And whereas, agriculture in total is maybe $180 billion of exports for the US, soybeans is our biggest product, and we sell them mostly to China. So we're right in the crosshairs. And last time around, we lost about $10 billion of exports to China. So however that plays out and how long that plays out will result in a lot of disruption. Now, we're already hearing some suggestions from potential new cabinet members that they will enact a market facilitation program or some sort of a handout, but farmers have always said they want trade, not aid, even if it looks like they're going to get the opposite of that in the near term. And then in the long run, there's the risk that all drives a loss of market share. It's a big world of political unknowns under the new administration at the moment. Thanks for watching. My name is Jason Miner, and this was what you need to know about agriculture.